As a kid, getting a new box of miniatures was always so exciting that all I wanted to do was get them built, painted, and play with them on the table. I never really was able to see beyond the contents of the box, but coming back to the hobby at the end of 8th edition, I've had this intense desire to personalize things and make them mine. I really love a good kit bash and a good conversion because the idea of making something that's uniquely yours is really exciting to me. I decided it would be a good excuse to do a video, and so I set myself the challenge of making an Iron Hands captain. I had a bit of a strange and unfortunate process making this video, so it's not going to be a tutorial as such. I'm just going to show you a bit of what I was doing and how I did it, followed by the final product. And of course, I also just want to preface this by saying, if you're under 18, please make sure that you're under supervision or you're getting help from your guardian. Since I knew I'd be doing a bunch of these in the future, I decided to cheat. And I bought the Company Heroes Space Marine box to get a little bit of a leg up on bits and Space Marine bodies that look important. When kind of thinking about how I wanted to approach this character, I knew that I was going to use the Tactical Veteran as the base because he already comes with a great robotic arm. And what's more Iron Hands than a robotic arm? I considered two main possibilities really. It was either to go for the kind of Smash Captain, heroic melee monster that a lot of people like to build their characters as, or I could go for the more commanding leader kind of vibe. I decided that my captain was going to be a little bit more cool-headed than his gene father, and I decided to go with the commanding vibe. So first of all, I had a really good look at my bits box to see what I had. My main kind of drive was to find bionics and robotic sections as much as possible. There's an awful lot of Space Marine kits that have robotic hands, and most of them are right hands, which I guess have been blown up by plasma guns and plasma pistols. There's very few robotic left hands that I could find, certainly in my spare parts anyway. And I certainly didn't have any robotic legs. But whilst I was going through my bits box, I found an arm from an infiltrator kit that has a big wrist-mounted computer on it, as well as some antenna and a little satellite dish, also from the infiltrator kit. Thinking about these two bits together really kind of fed into the command vibe that I was going for. I had this image in my head of a captain processing all kinds of Vox feeds, monitoring enemy movements, and directing his forces all at the same time. Because I found these two bits, I knew that I wanted this guy to be the entire communications infrastructure within his fighting force. I also found myself a nice head with a cybernetic eye on the right hand side. And since I already had a robot arm for the right hand side, I figured I'd make him a robot leg for his right hand side as well. I decided that for ease, I would leave the armor plating on the front of the leg and just build the robot leg kind of behind that armor plating. I mean, robot legs need protecting just as much as flesh legs, right? So with the greave left in place, I needed something that could be a nice foot, and I found my solution in the Haywire Mine from the Infiltrators kit, or Incursor's kit. It's one of those two kits. I chopped out a couple of sections from that mine, and honestly, it kind of fit perfectly. I glued it down to the base, I tried it in the space kind of left where the foot would be, and it just really worked for me. When it came to the robot arm, I wanted it to interact with his wrist computer, so I decided I would chop below the elbow, take off this little cog section here, and then twist the whole thing around so that he could reach across his chest and be interacting with that computer. And this is pretty much what it looked like. The index finger is missing. I decided to chop that off and replace it with something else. That was going to be easier than trying to save the finger and use it. So here is another little antenna from the Infiltrator Incursor's box. That's what I used for the finger. The legs were largely made out of these little spear sections from the Drakari Raider kit, and then just cables and pipes from Aggressors. I kind of built the whole thing up just a little at a time, and I was left with a result that I thought was quite good. I decided as a finishing touch I would give him a weapon. I wanted to give him a mace because I found this one from the old Dark Angels veteran kit. It looks heavy and menacing, but unfortunately there was a firstborn Dark Angel hand attached to it. So I cut the handle off, replaced the handle with another section from the Drakari Raider kit, and topped it off with a Holy Relic from the new Black Templar range. And here is our finished captain. What was great about using the Company Heroes box as the base for this is that even though I added a lot to the model, there's also a massive amount that I didn't need to touch. Like I said, I had some unfortunate issues recording this, but I'm fairly happy with how the video came together in edit, and I'm super proud of the finished piece. Definitely let me know if you want more of these styles of videos in the future. How I put the video together in future is absolutely something I'm going to work on, but kit bashes are something that I have a really good time doing. So if you got this far, thanks for watching.